Okay, Rhonda, I don't know what you see. What do you see?
I see my most important goal, CPR, first aid, and aid training.
Perfect. And did you get a message saying we were recording?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect. So, I am Maggie Kasicki,
And I am Rhonda Waitzel.
and first we'll start off with talking about Rhonda's most important goal and her V2 mom. So, Rhonda, I had a little bit of feedback as far as um, most important goal is concerned. Actually, could you explain yourself in your own words what your MIG is?
Sure. My most important goal is to begin a CPR training program where I can go out and assist businesses with having like employees or contracting work to them to teach CPR and first aid and using the AED machine at their business. So if they ever have to use those types of, CPR or the AED machine, they know how to do that or do first aid out on a job site. So my goal is to one day incorporate a business where I can help local businesses, such as like a sports club or a construction company, provide a service to their employees so they know how to do CPR and first aid at home or on the job site.
Wow, that was like a whole lot.
Yes.
And so like the first question was like if I could explain your most important goal, and I think to me it was supposed to be a sentence.
Okay,
And so it was really hard for me to say
sure.
what the MIG was because it's so big. It's so much um, that my feedback is that it needs to be more specific
Okay,
and quantifiable in some way. So, the goal is at this point, it's almost like most important dream.
sure.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, and it sounds absolutely amazing. More than like this is my top priority to
Right.
to get there. Um, so I think that you need to scale it like way down. So I think that your most important goal right now is, and then after you achieve that, my next most important goal is, you know what I mean? It's gonna be grow and change, but right now it's a lovely, most important dream.
Yes, and that's fair. Absolutely.
Um, I did struggle. Now, after your explanation, I struggled to find out who your target audience was because to me, it seemed like it was everyone, you know. And when you just explained it, uh, you focused more on the business end. Um, and what I'm wondering is what would be more helpful is to start with a target, like you would in marketing, start with your a target audience. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to grow your audiences, but I don't think that you can start with everyone. It's like individuals and businesses. I think that's really hard. And then it becomes hard to have small goals and hard to become quantifiable, and it may become overwhelming.
Sure, absolutely.
So I love the idea of, and this is Maggie's 2 cents worth of focusing on um either factories, like if we're going to go after factory workers, or you're going to go after, I was thinking about the trades, like the plumbing unions and the electricians union, and, like to really start to narrow those target audiences down.
Okay.
And that will help you um, start to make a plan to get it to go into practice. Um, so another feedback was make clear and measurable goals with end dates. So by, you know, July 5th, I want to have done this and that to me, that's the way that you're going to turn it into most important dream,
Okay.
into most important, like this becomes your new job, your new business, which it seems like that's what you want to grow it into.
Versus a side hustle.
Yeah,
Yes.
first is side hustle and then yeah. One of the questions was if you were to describe in a picture, and
Yeah.
so that was so unbelievably easy for me because the picture to me was a menu at a restaurant, like with a lot of choices. So you can be a business, and this is what we offer for businesses, and you can be an individual, and this is what we offer for individuals. And, and with the goal, I assume being is a repeat customer. So
Yes.
you come back every month, or you come back every 6 months, or every 2 years, or whatever. And then to have price structures, you know, focused on that. Or you can just have a one-off day. Like I was in my brain, I was thinking a la cartes, like,
Right.
a drop-in CPR class would
I
be
like
like
that.
would be your a la carte, right?
Right.
Not your meat and potatoes, but your one-off. And I was thinking like um going to City Market and, you know, doing a demonstration. And so my brain was totally on fire.
No, I like it. That's a good idea. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Um, so my next most important thing to talk to you about was how important do you think the internet is to you?
In this day and age, I think it's very important.
Yeah, I think it's critical as well.
I do. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, depending on, what audience you're targeting, they use those kind of apps more, it seems.
So as I was really thinking about it, that, my business
Yes.
can get away with socials. I think that your socials, and this is again just my opinion, your socials are supplementary. I think that you need to have in this kind of certified business, yours needs to be a real website with,
Yep.
you know, it needs to be legitimized with an actual website, which is going to um, really affect your bottom line as far as cost is concerned, because they're not cheap to maintain, but
Right.
you can go to Wix or whatever. But I think right now there's so many things that need to be done that your most important goal needs to be at least a step one in moving in the right direction. But, you need to do a website, you need to um, figure out who you're going to market to first. You need to figure out what your cost structures are going to be. You need to figure out your insurances, all those types of things. And there's just so many little things that need to happen before.
And make this dream a reality.
Yeah. But if you're making your most important goal so big, it's going to be really hard to make it a reality.
Good
Like,
point.
like LLC, right? You need to have your LLC. You need to get your insurances in line. You need to, like, those are all things that need to happen before you can even start advertising. So your bank accounts, all those
Mhm.
types of,
Sure. Credit card.
yeah.
And then like some of the items that I charge on the credit card, I was thinking that I could use, um, when I buy supplies and things like that, that I could use those points, eventually when I grow my business to give to like employees, like incentives, or gift cards or tokens of appreciation, that really won't cost me anything. Because I'm already using the credit card to buy supplies and things for the business.
I loved that you thought of this challenge as people putting their mouths on mannequins. Um, and I see that your brain is already working of what a class can look like, and that's super awesome. But again, you're gonna have to do a lot of back end work before you can get to classroom.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, I loved this group. Schools.
Yes,
I super love that. To go to, teachers have to go the first before the first week of school to, do their mandatory back to school, and to have a CPR class at mandatory back to school before school begins. I love that idea.
thank you.
All right, let's go to v2mom, which is stop share. And I've lost the v2mom. Here it is. Okay, can you see it again?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Um, oh, I think that needs to be quantified. What does that mean?
Okay.
I think all of these, I mean, they're so good, but I don't know what preparedness means. So, like, listing these out as far as what those values mean to you, they're really broad, right? What does empowerment mean to you? What does that look like in your business? What does that look like for your employees? What does that look like you as the instructor? Or does that mean empowering your customers? And what does that look like to them? So
Okay.
these are just really broad. You know, and try to make everything as specific as possible. So,
Okay.
education, what does that mean? Like, really specifically narrow down what that means to you.
Okay.
I think we talked about this one. targeting, marketing campaign, social media. Um, I think it's good for brand recognition, but I think yours is too high level that you need to have a legitimate website. Do you
Okay.
agree or no?
Yeah, I do. I do.
And I told you this before, your logo's fire. I love it. I love your
Thank
name. I love the logo. I love the idea. Okay, again, ensure we have enough resources. Those things need to be listed out. Like what is a resource? Um, is a resource mannequins or is a resource money? How much? How many mannequins? How much money? How many staff?
Okay.
See, I love these develop partnerships with organizations, but I think that you need to, this is so big right now that you need
Right.
to choose one.
Okay. Like you
Other,
said, like labor, construction.
yeah, I
Because
mean, all of these are such great brainstorming ideas, but you know, um, he says like, every $1,000 equals 10,000, 10,000 equals 100,000, 100,000 equals a million. Like, and I think this is exactly what he's talking about is get one, do well with one, and then get two, you
sure,
know?
sure.
So I think we're differing because I'm at the micro and you're at the macro. What are the top most five important things you need to make it to come true? And I'm at the reality of you need to make an LLC. You need to get a bank.
Like you bought the boat, Maggie. You're in it.
So, but it didn't make the list, right? So the top five things, like, talk to an insurance agent, find out how much this insurance is going to be. To me, those are all things that need to happen before most of these other things happen.
That's fair.
A cost structure, like how can you even advertise until you know what your overhead looks like?
Okay.
Here's what I kind of love about this V2mom is that you totally believe this is going to work. Like you're already kind of at the end of the process. Like I believe in this so much, and I can see that in your writing and the way that your writing talks about what you're going to do. I think my focus is backing it up to help make what this is an awesome business into a reality of these baby steps need to happen way
Yeah.
first because it really is cool. So, okay, I'm going to ask you
Okay.
now after we've talked, how do you feel about what do you need to measure to know if you have arrived? And then yours says profitable or not profitable. How do you, now that we've talked, how do you feel about it?
Well, I need to back up a little and go more down to the micro level. And definitely, think more of my costs, like a website cost and mannequins and the website and someone to maintain that and making an LLC and meeting with a lawyer and setting up bank accounts and things like that.
And
At the
also,
end of the day, though, I feel like to know that you've arrived, you need to be profitable, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's what it is about, is, but on the same token, if I don't try, and even if I fail, I at least
I don't think
effort.
I don't
And
think this is a failure type of thing. I think you've got something. I mean, this is really amazing. My concern is I don't think you know how much to charge.
yeah, that's fair.
So if like arrived means profitable or not, what I read is like, hmm, I wonder what I think is fair. And then you're just going to kind of throw it out there. And I just think that you really need, I don't want you to kind of set a price, start taking on customers and realize, okay, this is not covering what I think it should cover. And then you're gonna have to redo.
Yes. So I've kind of looked around to see what others are charging, and they usually charge like a per person fee. Um, ranging from like $40 to like $80 per person. And then teaching between 10 to 20 students per class. And then some are doing like refresher for only like a few hours, and then some are doing like you sign up for 1 to 2 day sessions. So I don't know if the ones that are signed up for the 1 to 2 day sessions, if they are charging that price per day per person, or
Yeah.
a one-time package fee.
And I think there needs to make sure that you're apples to apples, like that they're bonded and they're licensed and they're insured. A lot of people do things undercutting, like when I think of lawn mowing or, like
Mhm.
it's kind of dangerous doing yard work, but you just get a guy off of Facebook,
Yeah,
you know, because he's so much lower than the other guy who is bonded and has liability insurance and has done everything the right way. It's a totally different thing. The other thing think about as far as like the per person. So if you have two people, what's that break even point of how many people I need to have in a class in order to break even? So you can say $40 a person, but how many people do I need? And then what am I going to do if I don't have those and these people have signed up?
and the other thing I was going to ask you is, let's say you charge those things for like your boating experience, or for like my CPR experience, class. What happens if they don't show up? Are you having like a 24-hour cancellation cost, fee? What do you
So
do? Or what are
I'm
your
I'm a little luckier with mine. I'm gonna stop share. I'm a little luckier with mine is that this is, as you saw, my number one goal is to find some sort of website that you uh get the tickets on and they already have something established, like Viator or um Wedding Wire or whatever, that the people are buying the tickets on there. And usually those already have the limits and the instructions on there. So like, you know, I'll take my Airbnb business. Like you have 7 days to cancel. If you don't cancel within the first 7 days that you booked, then um it's a 20% charge. And then if it's 14 days out, then you get charged 50%. If it's within 7 days, you get charged 75%. So, you know, whatever platform we use is going to kind of dictate that for us, which is why researching those platforms is so incredibly important, and it needs to be equal among everyone. But also, I have the difficulty of weather. So
yes?
that's the wrench in my system. If the weather's icky, if it's too windy, if it's rains.
So I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. A little green, sure.
How about now?
Oh my word.
So, Miss Maggie, you know that I'm very artsy and
You,
working with
I'm about
me.
to cry.
I put this together for you. So I wanted to thank you for letting me work with Premier Boating Incorporated and to see your most important goal and your V2mom. I am glad that you chose me to work together with you. So I put together the questions that were for us to complete. I'm going to send this to you when I'm done so you can incorporate it if you'd like to into your.
Yeah,
So I
that's
liked
amazing.
I like that your weddings and bachelor parties, and then the boating experience. And then, what I saw for your future was yourself and your husband and, hiring out, your website designer and your photographer and, your lawyer and accountant, some members of your team. Um, So for me, I'm understanding that your company is establishing a boat business that focuses on providing not only a service, but a memorable experience for bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. I know you want to start with just bachelorette parties first and then work to the bachelor parties and, Rock River. The fishing probably isn't the greatest if like you maybe go up to Wisconsin or, to the lakes or something. Your company's planning to use the management software platform for booking and for your payments, and that you're considering using Groupon and Facebook and Instagram, and that you aim to address your customers' concerns by offering a secure and professional means of booking and payment versus using cash, which I think is fabulous. And, that you've thought that far into those details. There really wasn't much I struggled to understand with your most important goal or your V2mom. You and Neil are very professional people with using, Airbnb, the party boat, Amazon, eBay already at this time. I admire you and Neil for everything that you've done. I foresee you being successful, such as like Michael Jordan, Oprah, and Walt Disney that put themselves out there with vision. And
Yes, my little boat, the same as Walt Disney.
I think you're gonna get there, Maggie. I think I really for this area,
Oh, that's so funny.
it's an honor for the last 6 months that you let me and you're very you foresee and plan and you have a vision for the future. So here's some five things that I have questions on, to ensure the safety of the customers during your boating, which I know you will. When you're booking your event, if your boat is down, will you rent another boat for another business or supplier? What software platforms are you considering using for your bookings and payments? What do you estimate your costs for acquiring or subscribing to the management software platform? What will they be? And how do you plan to implement the 20% offered through Groupon and account for the commission that will be charged for those? So those are some of the things that I thought maybe when you're writing back to Professor Dave that maybe you could touch on. This is what I saw for like if I had to use pictures to describe your business. Maybe someone booking a trip through, for the boat through their computer, someone going to a lawyer for advice, like you described in your timeline. Um, someone writing a review, happy people that have had really good experiences on your boat, and then a credit card for paying. So those were some of the things that I envisioned. And how you communicate the significance of this loss to others. You know, with working with your spouse, you'll be able to have discussions regularly about the business. I'm sure that you do that now with your different businesses that you have. You know, once your business grows, I foresee that you will have like group meetings, discussions, you know, go over this by email or in person. You know, addressing them in person with employees. And I feel that you'll work to grow Premier Boating to become an easily accessible, reliable, and trustworthy party boating business like you described in your vision. What is a critical thing needed to be supplied, and what is a specific alternate when the supplier fails? So I was just wondering, you know, what if you don't have enough space for guests or for the entertainment and seating areas? You know, we thought about restrooms because the ladies will be dressed up. You know, it's kind of like my thinking on those things. You know, where will you stop during your journey, which I'm sure you've thought about all those things. And safety and equipment. And like we've talked about with my CPR, maybe someday we could incorporate the two and help one another for like a CPR class on the boat or a boating type of experience. So I just wondered if you would consider leasing a boat or have an alternative supplier should your boat be in for repair, or if you would ever use your Airbnb or a cabin or your home or another location should the weather be bad, or if the boat is out of service. So this came to mind for you. The way to get started is quit talking and begin doing. I loved your chart that you used in your papers and how detailed you were, and like very down to the micro level. I did like that. I created a timeline off of your chart for you just to review. I broke it up into 23 and 24 items. And then I also put on there that your business opens, you know, in your timeline as well. And then, you know, who loses if these things don't happen? And so then you know, everyone that we've hired, the investors, you know, the potential loss of revenue and investments. And then you don't become what you want, you become what you believe. So I feel that you believe in your business and it will become what you make of it. And I know you will do a very good job. And so I wanted to thank you for letting me be a part of your dream, making this a reality for your boat business. And I wish you the best of luck. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, Miss Maggie.
Isn't it amazing how both of our strengths and our personalities came out in these? I'm so detail orientated. Check my boxes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're just amazing with the art and the graphic design. Oh, this is why we need each other.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Do you think there's
Well,
anything else we need to add to the recording or should I stop?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thanks.